Hello again, Uriah Kaiser with the News and Messenger inside our Woodbridge newsroom on a Tuesday evening. There has been more developments in the case of convicted killer Paul Powell. The victim's family held a press conference in Richmond today. At that press conference was the victim's mother, Stacy's mother, Lorraine Woolberry, and Prince William Commonwealth Attorney Paul Ebert. And in their hands were letters from the killer, Paul Powell. These letters were directed to Lorraine herself, and these may be the first time we've seen a glimpse into the mind of Paul Powell since his second capital murder conviction in 2003. The letters had a very remorseful tone to them, and I'll go ahead and read you some of the excerpts from them. Powell writes in them, I figured you wouldn't care what I had to say or want to hear it after the letters that I have written in the past. He also said, it is my sincere prayer that if you have not been able to forgive me, that Jesus will be able to give you the strength to do so. I don't ask forgiveness for my sake, but for yours. He went on to write, but let me not preach at you because you're not the one who did anything wrong. And as he closed out the letter, he wrote, if I don't die, it means God has a purpose in my life. Again, these are the first glimpses into the mind of Paul Powell and what he might be thinking at this point, especially now after the U.S. Supreme Court issued him a stay of execution as they decide whether or not they're going to review his case and look into it. When I spoke earlier last week with Mr. Sheldon, who is the defense attorney for Paul Powell, he made no mention of Mr. Powell sending letters to the victim's family. He really didn't want to talk about what Mr. Powell was thinking or feeling as he sits on death row. He said that any more stories that could come from Mr. Powell could only upset the victims even further. He also didn't want to talk about his thoughts on being one of the state's most highly recognizable death row defense attorneys. So that's why we were so surprised to see these letters, which were present at the press conference on Tuesday. Our reporter Amanda Stewart went to Richmond, and she brought us back a great story, which will appear in today's News and Messenger, and it's also online at InsideNova.com. In the story, she quotes Woolberry by saying, this is a bittersweet day for us. We have been waiting for 10 and a half years for this, and now we've been told we have to wait a little longer. We will wait. That quote directly from Lorraine Woolberry in Amanda's story. Amanda said that it was a good press conference. It went very smoothly. Of course, Ebert was there, and when I spoke to him on Monday, he again said that it was a blow to the family. They were not expecting the U.S. Supreme Court to get involved this late in the game. But again, Ebert said the family has waited this long. They will continue to wait until Mr. Powell is eventually executed. I mentioned Mr. Sheldon earlier. I did speak with him again today in a story that, again, will appear in today's News and Messenger and again on InsideNova.com. Mr. Sheldon says that he said that Powell has at least another month, about 30 days, after what was to be his execution date on July 14th. He still would have had 30 days for the appeal process through the U.S. Supreme Court to be finished, sometime around August 12th. That was very interesting. I thought that that I should write about that and bring that to light there as he's making those claims in letters to the press and to me as well. Mr. Ebert said that after Powell's last appeal in the Fourth Circuit Federal Court, which is the sort of the last stop on the appeal train at the federal level, Mr. Ebert says he agrees with the decision, obviously, to not intervene, the Fourth Circuit Court's decision not to intervene. He again said that he was surprised that the U.S. Supreme Court got involved as they did. He also said that Virginia does not he feels Virginia does not have a sort of fast track to the electric chair type of mentality. He says the average death row inmate in Virginia has about 5 to 8 years to do the appeal process before they'll face execution. He went on to say that in some states, that appeal process could take anywhere between 25 to 50 years, and in some cases, the death row inmates end up dying as they await execution. They end up dying of natural causes. So again, those developments we wanted to share with you on this video blog, and of course, as I said, you can read more about it inside the pages of today's News and Messenger and online at InsideNova.com. We'll continue to keep you updated on this case. We don't have a definitive time that we're supposed to hear back from the Supreme Court as to whether or not they will indeed review Powell's case. Mr. Sheldon, in my story you'll read inside the News and Messenger, he said he expects to hear back from the Supreme Court sometime in late September as to whether or not, again, they'll want to actually review the case or perhaps send him right back to death row. That's it for now. You can check us out online. My personal blog is youtube.com/Wahooa, WHAHOOA, and always online at InsideNova.com.